Welcome to Walking with Will 2025. Yes. So, why don't you follow me? 10 to 8 on day 13. My last full day of walking to Camino, which is just a few miles before Santiago. Short spell tomorrow. Coldest morning so far. I've got my fleece on. That's the first. Yeah, but it's supposed to be dry today. And looking around, no clouds at the moment. Another lovely sunrise. So I'm going to need to walk through most of Padron to get onto the Camino. So I'm kicking off now and get a few shots on the way. What Padron's like. And I should mention my accommodation for last night, which was absolutely top notch, apart from the lack of human contact. But everything there, washing machine and little bits and pieces, little cakes and stuff. So yeah, that was really good, particularly late on in the Camino when you're starting to flag a little bit. I'm going to see if I can see anybody. It'll be the last opportunity I get to catch up with any of the people I've met along the way. So hopefully I bump into them. It's going to be busy, but nothing I can do about that. This is the local football ground, and there was a match on last night, and I was within an inch of seeing if I could get in to get my football fix, but it was getting a bit late, and I had to eat, so I decided against it. And back on the Camino now. As I said, there was a market to walk through yesterday. I did have a little look round. Didn't see anything I fancied, but it was absolutely rammed. But I think obviously quieter this morning, Monday morning. I think it's some kind of bank holiday though here. I'm not sure. I think that seemed to be that a lot of the restaurants that weren't opening until tomorrow, so we'll see. Pulperia, yes, this is an Octopus restaurant. That is where they serve they serve anybody. But the dish, you know what I mean. Yeah, there's this statue here, and it's got some big round objects just in front of it. And I think it's rather an unfortunate arrangement. I don't know what you think. Yeah. And the starlings, the trees are full of starlings squawking away. I'm not sure it's a suitable arrangement, but obviously the locals are quite happy with it. I don't see what one's got to do with the other, but if you put them I'm not going to go any further with that. And the starlings up in the trees. They heard me, they've stopped. Yep, and Padron, like many other places on the Camino, there's this mixture of the old and the new on top of each other, varying degrees of success. And many of the pilgrims would have set off a bit earlier, I think, to get the 14 miles to Padron in to get their Compostela. But not me. The smart money is on those who have got the time to do an extra day and stop in Milinorio, which is 4 miles before, and then get in early tomorrow morning. But it's quite busy on the Camino here at the moment. Everybody seems to be walking at a good old lick. 14 miles. It's a tough one as well. There's a lot of uphill. It's virtually all uphill, off and on here into Santiago. So it's good also to break that stage up. I did it once and it's too far, really, too long. So that's what you call a beer advert, you see. Las Estrellas del Camino. Yeah, so Estrella is apparently the beer of the Camino. Getting that bloody super bock. Don't know who this lady is, but she seems like a nice lady. Surrounded by peppers. It's probably somebody I should know. Looks a little bit like Miriam Margolyes in the younger days. Yes, somebody's taken some time to do that, not just slapped a poster on a billboard, is it? And here's the answer. This is Milagros Gonzalez, no less. And I can discover the story behind them if I want to, but on the way, I presume she said this, on the way a smile will break down any language barrier. There we are. So it wasn't Miriam Margolyes, it was Milagros Gonzalez. Ideal walking weather this morning. It's nice and clear, no rain, cool, very cool. It's probably only about, I don't know, I think it was about 12 degrees, 11, 12 degrees, but cool wind today. So, and really I'm probably on top of my game this morning after all these miles. It's really sorted me out. So, yeah, so I'm really enjoying this morning so far. Yeah, so when you're walking a long way, particularly if you're on your own, you know, your mind starts to wander as well, you know, goes off in various places. And I've been contemplating that I saw a very, very short pilgrim, and they were basically taking 2 steps to my 1 step. And I was trying to figure out in my head whether that would mean that they wore their shoes out twice as fast as mine. But then I thought, but if they're half the height, that's half the weight, so the wear wouldn't. You see, this is what happens. This is what happens. I'm going to stop with that now. Here's one for Dave and all those cyclists out there. Look at all this. There's a bit of money in cycling if you ask me. Look, this professional cycling team. You might be able to tell me if they're a good one or not. Jaco. Yeah, here's some more. Another one. Decathlon. Yeah. Look at all this. Money on display here. On your bike. Yeah, just about out of Padron now, and as you can see, heading out into the countryside once again after quite a long walk, quite a long urban walk, dodging traffic and by the side of the road. And this is to give you an idea of the concentration of the pilgrims. You can see it's pretty busy, and it's not as I remember it from my early Caminos. So the first one I did was 2018. It wasn't like this then, but there we are. People enjoy it, so more power to them, I suppose. Yes, Christmas is coming. More busy traffic, another town. Yeah, so it's busy as well in terms of pilgrims, as I say. Hopefully back in the country soon. This isn't my idea of, I don't enjoy this sort of stuff. Click, 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 click. And here we are back on the giant stepping stones in the forest. This is part of the big climb towards eventually to Santiago, but certainly into Miadorio. You have to go a little bit careful here. 2 lovely benches here. Slightly Art Nouveau sort of style. And coming up as a landmark not to be forgotten, I was walking with a couple of Caminos ago, walking with an American guy, and he said, "What the hell's that?" I said, "Well, I think it's a bloke on a horse." He said, "No, it's a man wrestling a sheep." This was another thing. It doesn't look quite as weird as it used to. These are sort of like wooden horses up on the hills here, but you can see a lot of them lost their heads, so they just look like wooden blocks or something with legs on. But you can see the original horse look up there. Look. And this is the long, slow, occasionally steady, occasionally steep climb into Miondoro. We've already had one quite tiring little climb, a big climb in fact. But I noticed that I feel it more in my legs and in my chest now, because after 2 weeks of walking every day, you know, your fitness either kills you or you get a lot fitter. And my final stop, my final accommodation, nice single room here in, I want to call it the Hotel Pyro. No, I think it's Payro. Or it could be Payroll. Or it could be Swiss Roll. Who knows? Anyway, this is where I'm stopping. Bed, bathroom. Thank you very much.